Good evening, everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 16th. This is CAD 214 MEP. Tonight in class, we're just going to go over the next mod that's going to be due and discuss the remaining first half of the semester. Since y'all have taken my class before, y'all are all moving along really fast. I think there's a couple people that still need to turn in a couple of assignments, but for the most part, we're way ahead of the curve as far as everything's concerned. I think it's also because we have a small class. So the way I foresee the next second half of the rest of this first half of the semester is we're not going to have class on the 21st. Everything is going to be due on the 23rd. Which will include all your Revit work, all your sheets. Everything is going to be due on the 23rd for your midterm stuff, for your midterm project. Everything's going to be turned in before Mardi Gras because we are off this entire week, the 28th and the 2nd. So that'll give you time free. What I'm suggesting, and I want to make sure it's okay with y'all before we do this, is when we come back, I know it's not great timing, but I want to have the midterm on the 7th. So we'll review for the midterm on the 23rd, and then the actual midterm is going to be on the 7th, and then we'll just start new stuff on the 9th. Does anybody have any problem with that midterm being on the 7th?
I'm cool with that.
Cool. It's going to be very straightforward, and we'll review what kind of goes into it before we get there. It's basically going to be that's exactly what you've done so far. You'll have a model, and you'll just have to build a couple of HVAC systems per the instructions that you'll have. You've taken my midterms in the other class before. It'll be very much like that, so I don't foresee any issues. So that's pretty much what I have set for the rest of the first half of the semester. I want to go over a couple of things in Revit right now. So let me go ahead and share my screen. This is the mod 4. This is the one that's going to be submitted by the 23rd. If you could just make sure that all the sheets are done and that you upload your Revit file as well, that would be great. So it'll just, all your Revit files, all your sheets that you're going to create, just upload them to this mod right here, and I'll review that. And that way I can get those to you over the break, and you'll have an idea of what you're going into the midterm with. Let's go to Revit. All right, so basically, y'all make it really easy for me this semester. We're just going to be creating sheets out of these documents as well. So next thing is just creating sheets as usual. Let's right click on that, new sheet. Let's use this 17 by 22 for this one. And we're just going to be creating sheets as usual. You will create a cover sheet. Remember, that's a G101. These are going to be M sheets for mechanical. So we'll do mechanical HVAC system. So you can just write HVAC here for the project information. And remember, that would be like M101, M102. And we'll just bring in these sheets. For whoever project this looks really good. Just before you turn it in, just kind of tweak a couple of things, make sure that these drawing tags are kind of moved over a little bit so they're not interrupting the duct flow, but this looks really good with the measurements and everything like that. So the only thing I can say on this one is just move these room tags so they're not intersecting all this stuff, and it's just cleaner to read. So that looks really good. So let's go back to that sheet. Pretty much the same information here that we did last time. Owner will be Delgado DCC, project HVAC system for the project name. And then you'll have a G101 for your general information sheet, and then also your floor plan mechanical 1 and 2. So not a lot of sheets to create on this one. So here we'll just drag in our HVAC mechanical.
But are they just going to be A101 and A102, that kind of that thing, or?
It's not going to be an A, remember, because those are architectural. These are mechanical drawings. So it's going to be an M101 and an
Okay,
M102.
right. M101 copy.
Yeah, for mechanical. That's the only difference there. And then everything else will be the same as what you've done before on this stuff. Make sure that these drawing tags aren't these elevation markers aren't showing on your drawings. Everything else is pretty much the same. Be sure to move this where it's supposed to go. All the stuff that you know from the previous class. So that's just the new stuff. And I wanted to show you a couple other things that are a little bit that might have been a little bit confusing as you work through some of these different types of ways that you create HVAC system. When we started out, we created our own building in mechanical, which gave us all this information that we still have available when we look through it. If you notice the difference from when we imported the, you'll have noticed a difference when we imported an architectural drawing, because what will typically happen is that architect will send you the drawing, you'll import that, and then you'll create your HVAC system, and then you'll send that HVAC system back to the architect where they'll import that into their drawing. So for some of you, when you're doing your HVAC system, you may have noticed something like this, that once you close it, or the only thing you'll have left is your HVAC system. Like, where did the house go? I mean, or the building go. So when something like that happens, it's basically the equivalent of when you send this back to the architect. So I would need to reinsert the original drawing. So remember, we go back to insert, go to Revit link, and then I'll have that reinserted into the original drawing. So you may have noticed that as you work through your projects. So that's the difference between those two. If we create that mechanical drawing in there, we'll have it. And if we're importing it, we're inserting it, you're going to see these issues where it pops up, where sometimes that original one will disappear. You may have even noticed that when you close this project that you needed to reinsert that, that Revit file. So you just go back to insert and then link Revit, and that'll bring you back to this situation right here. One thing on this project right here, whoever this one is, the outflow looks good, but remember the return air. So don't forget to do your return air system with this. Another thing I noticed on a couple of projects is when these return air systems were done, sometimes when that happened, let's just connect that. Actually, I'll just bring that here. I would actually probably move this somewhere else. Actually, let me get out of 3D. Let me go back to there. That way I can see the rooms. Makes a little bit more sense now. Sometimes when you draw these, when you get back into it, like I've seen a couple of people's where they're trying to draw the return air system, but it's showing up blue, even though you're trying to draw return air. So if that happens, you can just come back to your properties and then scroll down to the system type. Notice here it says return air. That's why it's coming up in the magenta. If I do the drop down here, oh, it's not gonna work this time. All right, let me set that in place. Oh, that one is set. Anyway, it does happen where these get mixed up. But you should be able to go back to that and select return air, or I wish I had an example of that. Let's see if there's one here where we can switch that. So return air. All right, now all these are running right, but I did see one where it was going either way, and it kind of depends on which way you're drawing it. So if I did go into systems and I was just going to draw a duct, say I'm drawing a duct, but it's not connected to anything. So here's just a random duct. It is supply air. if I needed to change that, I can change that to return air. So if you are not, if I think if it breaks off of this branch, how it knows to originate from supply air or return air. But you'll notice that sometimes when you're drawing it, some of your ductwork and some of your other connections will show up in the wrong color. The point is just to know that you can come over to properties over here and change system type, and it'll you can change that to the correct ductwork on here as well. So that's pretty much it for the lecture today. Nice and short because, you know, y'all are kind of ahead of the game for all of this stuff. But there's a few tweaks on that that we need to do for this one right here. Go ahead and finish your return air. What I would do on some of these is I would move these up. And then you could continue with this along this way. And you can bring it around that way, just because of the way it's lined up right here to start. So whoever that is, that's a little help on how to get that return air laid out. Any questions, guys? Anybody feeling, you know, like they have any questions or any issues with anything in HVAC so far?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that,
I'm sorry, go
Ms.
ahead.
Ms. Mark, yeah, that's actually mine.
Okay.
And I was I guess I just got a little perturbed because things weren't lining up. But on the other one where we did a 2-story,
Mm-hmm.
I actually rectified that. So it's a whole nother level of setup. It's almost equivalent to what Jonathan is doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keeping the supply kind of like close to the inside, and then bringing the return, you know, right, bringing the return, or, you know, or vice versa. Either way.
Yeah, either way is fine. Yeah, the main thing is to know how to draw it. Now, honestly, there'll probably be like an HVAC engineer for these larger projects that can like maybe have a different way to do it. So it's not necessarily the exact way that somebody would do it, but the process is to know how to do it and how to put all this stuff together. So no, these look good. And part of the thing is just like everything else is trying to figure out how to make that puzzle work for you. So this looks good. And the other one looks fine, Ishmael. It's just a matter of just fixing that, like moving these out. And it would just be the same thing for this, just wrapping it around here.
Yeah, I would just put all those return air supplies, I guess, all on the outside. So the exact opposite of what I had drawn, just on the outside, and then you can loop them all around.
Yeah, you can move it up that way, or you can move it down this way. I'd probably move this.
Yeah, I
Probably
could
don't have
actually
it close to that.
pull them out and kind of just reach out to them.
Yeah, and then my whole thing was trying to go back in and make sure they all fit nicely in the ceiling tiles. That was like one of my that probably took me more time than anything.
Definitely. And that's a very good point too. We've got these laid out nicely in here. So the same thing with these, just kind of move these. Yeah, so those are nicely spaced. Same with these as well. So yeah, those are something that you're paying attention to as well. So it's just a matter of just laying the same thing out with the return air. Just running it along this way and just moving the locations of these guys. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No, it looks good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's how we're going to run to the rest of the semester. So I'll see y'all again on the 23rd, a week from today. We'll review for the final then. Everything will be due then. That way I'll give you a break, not to have to do anything over the holiday except study, and then we'll come back on the 7th and we'll have that midterm exam.
Hey, Miss Martin, can I ask one question real quick?
Yeah.
And this is
anything-
just on the sheets, and I'm sorry to ask you again. but
No
so
problem.
G101 is the cover sheet. The owner is Delgado. The project name is HVAC system. Right?
Yes.
Project title.
Yeah, hold on, let me jump back to that.
I just, because I
Oh,
understand.
wrong one. Here we go. Yeah,
Right, so-
owner will be DCC, so Delgado. Project name is gonna be HVAC system.
And
Project,
then what's unnamed? Oh, so project name, I mean, because those are two different things. What do you want
this would
there?
be, yeah, this would be like HVAC system one, our first floor plan. Say if it's the first floor, it would be here, or if you got the second floor, that would be here as well. So. project
Okay,
name is
so
separate.
it's,
And
so
that
it
would be the
goes
sheet name.
Delgado
It should be
HVAC
sheet name.
system, first floor. Okay,
First floor, project number is gonna be CAD 214. Issue date's the day it's due, drawn by your initials, and then checked by my initials. And then you'll have a G101, which is your general information sheet, your cover sheet like you're used to doing. And then it'll be an M101 and an M102. So just 3 sheets. Three
Okay.
sheets for each project that you completed, so 6 total.
okay.
Actually, probably 5
three
total. Yeah, because we did that one with the 2-story. So there's 3
Okay.
sheets there, and then the second one with the 1-story. So there's just 2 sheets there, your cover sheet and your
Okay, all right, cool.
first floor. So 5 sheets total.
Thank you. And when you put those sheets on, you want to see the floor plan, you want to see the HVAC, you want to see the room, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, just like this. This looks really
Okay.
nice.
Okay,
Yeah, this is
Easy enough.
perfect except for moving these things off of the sheet itself. So we'll get those off the title sheet.
and then you
Uh,
want to get the scale little guy moved up in there, some, right?
Yeah, I think this scale is good for this one. You could probably tighten these up a little bit, and make it a little bit bigger. But yeah, I'll leave that up to y'all. Because if we just scaled this up right now, it would be way too big.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Yeah,
It's gonna get too big. So I think just, yeah, let's just undo that. I don't think that's not even gonna work. So it should import strictly at 1/8 inch equals 1 foot. And yeah, that should be fine.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions, just shoot me a text, guys, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, I will just see you on next Wednesday.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
everyone. Have a
Bye,
good one.
y'all.
Have a
Take
good
care.
one.